DinoPod.
Hello and welcome to DinoPod. Today we're going to talk about Pokémon, and it's just going
What
to be...
episode are we on now?
8th?
Yeah, I think we're on number 8.
Yes.
Yeah, because the last one was episode 7, 9, 11.
Yeah.
Which was a...
We should have done on 9 or 11.
Yeah, we should have.
Damn it.
But I blame Tim because he's not
Tim.
here.
Yeah, so it's just me and Mitchell. Tim is in Wales, doing whatever Welsh people do.
Tim's not in Wales.
No?
No, he's been kept in at work because just reasons.
Right, so Tim is being held captive somewhere.
In a workplace.
In the workplace.
So that means this week it's just me and Rita.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. So Pokémon. Let's hand it over to you because I'm a bit clueless. So,
What do you mean you're clueless? You know what Pokémon is.
what's Pokemon?
How dare you?
Talking about saying of Pokemon, did you see that they're bringing back the Poke Centre in London in the summer?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
I want it just to be permanent.
Yeah.
Just keep it permanent.
Because I didn't go because there's 3-hour, 4-hour queues every day. I'm like, no. I like Pokemon.
You go on the weekends and it's like
Not
6-hour
yeah.
queues. Fuck it.
It's like, no.
Yeah, I want to go there. It looks quite good.
It really look fun, but they need to make it permanent. I don't know why there isn't a store in Europe.
Because Brexit.
I don't think that's it, but sure.
A Japanese company is affected by Brexit, apparently.
Maybe. So, do you know what the original name of it was? Or do you know what Pokemon is?
Can I come up with a very snide remark about Pokin, Solon and Mon? Without it being racist?
Wait, what did you say? Pokken, So, and Mon? What?
Pokin and Mon. I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
Pokemon is for pocket monsters. Get it? Because you can put in a Pokeball and put it in your pocket. I think that's because of it.
I mean...
It's an adorable name, but I like Pokemon.
I do rate that name, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you're wearing a dress and they never come with pockets, so, you know.
Or jeans. Women's jeans are getting smaller and smaller pockets. Because
Yeah.
I guess we don't need pockets.
Yeah, why do you need a pocket when, you know...
Who needs the pocket?
When you can carry everything around and get mugged, it'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. So the franchise started in the 1980s in Japan.
Oh, like 1980s.
Yes, did I say that wrong?
As you go through it, I'm going to be doing my own research. So I'm going to see what the Pokemon in the 1980s look like.
And it started on a game magazine. So they probably starting putting designs on magazines or whatever. I didn't research that part. I'll be honest.
The first thing I googled came up with Michael Jackson as a Pokemon.
Sounds about right.
I mean, well,
yeah.
he
That's a beautiful Pokemon card of Michael Jackson.
He has 150 health.
Hit points.
And his attack is Thriller.
Nice.
Flip a coin. If head, the opponent is fully paralyzed for 3 turns and can't move. And then the second one is just beat it.
Sounds about right.
But where's the throw baby off the top of a balcony window?
That's maybe the evolution.
Well, I mean, this is the 1980s, so he wasn't that much of a creep. Oh, wait, he was. Yes.
So the company that, I guess, invented Pokemon, is that
looks...
Pokemon Power?
I'm just seeing the...
Yeah, that's after the game was released. That's probably part of Nintendo Power, I would say.
What, has Pokemon ever not been Nintendo?
What?
Has Pokemon never not been Nintendo? Or
It was always Nintendo, but Nintendo didn't come up with it. So Game Freak, which was started by Satoshi Tajiri and Ken Sugimori.
Let's see how much you butcher names
I
this week.
apologize in advance if I butcher Japanese names.
It's like if I tried to read anything in Portuguese, I'd just look dumb.
Yeah. So they started Game Freak, which was the company that invented Pokemon.
Nice.
And Tajiri was the writer, and Sugimori was the illustrator. And then they took the idea of Pokemon to Nintendo, and Nintendo were like, nah, I don't get it. What is this?
I mean, well, you got to think about it. Nintendo back then was a different company than they are now.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Actually, no. To be fair, Nintendo just kind of... They're probably the best games company, if I'm honest. Because they're not arseholes and try and microtransaction everything.
Yeah.
But they're still using like the same 5 characters on everything. I mean, so they probably haven't changed that much.
I mean, Game Freak is a bit, and like the Pokemon company, they're a bit asshole-ish. Because do you really need to release 2 games?
What, Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Sword?
Yeah. Do you
and
really
Pokemon
need...
Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. What's the difference?
Like a handful of Pokemon.
So they instead of doing microtransactions, they just make 2 separate games that are basically the same.
Yeah.
Okay, this is sounding... My praise is slightly dwindling with Nintendo.
So they went to Nintendo. Nintendo's like, I don't get it. But they give Tajiri the benefit of the doubt because they've gotten some previous successful titles from the company, Game Freak. And they worked under the Shigeru Miyamoto to create Pocket Monsters Red and Green, a game that combined collecting and trading of monsters. So they're not Pokemon yet, they're just monsters.
So
they went to Nintendo and Nintendo's like, I don't get it, but because you've gotten some self-titles, I'll put you working with this guy, Miyamoto.
Here's the apprentice. You'll be working with him for a bit. Let's see.
No, he's more like the teacher, I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
He's your assistant teacher.
He's your assistant teacher.
She'll listen.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Listen to him. He knows his stuff. And so, on 27th of February 1996...
Hey, I wasn't even born then. Yay.
Debuted in Japan on the Game Boy.
Oh, Game Boy. I remember
and
the Game
Boy. And that day, the highest grossing franchise of all time was born. Literally all time. $95 billion to this day.
That is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Actually, how close has World of Warcraft gotten to? I'm just thinking in terms of...
After that is Hello Kitty, and then something else, and then Star Wars in 4th place. I checked yesterday.
Because I'm just thinking, in terms of...
Franchise, it was movies, anime, merchandise, games, everything.
Oh, okay. Because
it's not game, it's franchise.
If it's just on the game, I think Warcraft probably number 1, because everyone pays a tenner a month for the last 15 years.
I'm not sure.
They pay 10 quid. They pay 120 quid a year to play it.
Actually checked that, but I'm not sure.
That's it. I remember the old. I remember playing Pokemon Red. Yeah, Red on Game Boy.
Surely your brother's Game Boy.
No, we had 3. We had all. We had all different colours, and one of them mine, one of my brothers, one of my brothers.
Yes, but as you should know by now, we have the same birthday.
Yep.
So Pokemon came out a year before we were born.
Yep.
So why would you? But certainly that Game Boy was old. Yeah. Because why would you buy it?
It's because my brother. Put in perspective, my oldest brother still plays the original Pokemon on Game Boy on an
It's
emulator.
great. I didn't have a Game Boy growing up. I was very sad.
But
I bought a Game Boy Color last year, and I bought the game recently. It's good. It's fun.
Well, put yourself in perspective. In the early 2000s, what portable gaming consoles were there?
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
And then after
my mum was never going to get me a Game Boy Advance.
Why?
Because I already had a Game Boy.
That's fair.
And...
Did you have the Game Boy Game Boy Color?
No, the original.
Original.
Yeah. Because we had red, green, and blue.
You didn't have green.
Red, green, or blue?
You didn't have green. I guarantee you didn't have green. I'm pretty sure green wasn't released outside of Japan.
I've got them upstairs. We're gonna have a look. I know one of them's got Tipex on the on the up, down, left, right button because I got bored. when I was young. And I Tipex my brother's PlayStation 2 as well.
Of course you did.
On the laser.
It's not green, because green was only released in Japan.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to have a look upstairs, and I've still got the original game cartridge. The only game save that's left is my brother's one, and it's pretty ridiculous. Don't know what happened to mine. I think my original Game Boy cartridge, I think that died.
It dies after a
while.
while.
My brother's one, my oldest brother, his Game Boy cartridge still works with the original battery. Fuck knows how, but it does. Trust me, it's a miracle.
It's a miracle. So, yeah, they were. So the first ones released were red and green, which were very successful, you could say, in Japan.
Yep.
So then they re-release a couple of times. The first one was Pokemon Blue, which was only available through mail order in Japan in the monthly magazine Koro Koro Comics. So if you wanted it,
another butchered name. I like it.
At this time, was just the last lychee version of red and green.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you wanted it, you had to order it by mail order.
Just thinking about
the 90s.
Just thinking about it back then, like, imagine today if you said, okay, you want to order something to Amazon, right? So get this booklet, write it down, mail it off, wait a couple of weeks. And then hopefully it should arrive, or
you'll receive a new game.
And if not, they've just stolen your money. Yeah.
Yay. So by the way, Koro Koro Comics is still a very important magazine in Pokemon's history to still get like exclusive information about the games every year. And like when you see new Pokemon and only Japanese around it, that's probably Koro Koro Comics.
What are the original ones now quite like rare and sought after?
What?
Like the original comics, are they still?
This is a magazine.
Sorry, the original magazines, are they quite sought after now?
Maybe, but it's still around today. So when you see like leaks of a new Pokemon on Japanese magazine, it's probably Koro Koro. I would say there's definitely still around.
How do you spell it? Korokoro.
Also, Pokemon is owned by Nintendo. Creatures Incorporated and Game Freak.
I don't think it's Vogue magazine.
No, C-O, like C from cat, O-R-O, and then again. I don't know how to spell. And another O. Yeah.
Ew. Korokoro.
It sounds like a crazy magazine.
It sounds like...
It looks crazy, but looks fun at the same time.
I'm gonna... upstairs, I'm definitely gonna bring down my my brother's Pokemon cards.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
You'll hate them because...
Why?
Because they're currently like on a side on his window ledge getting destroyed, and they're like Gen 1s, I think.
Jesus. I mean, honestly.
I think there's quite a bit of money there. And some of them are on the floor.
Oh, that's horrible. So let's go through all of the games that have released so far. This is the main series.
Franchise.
I also have a list of the spin-offs, which are quite a bit. But so in Japan we have Red and Green in 1996. Then in Japan also, the blue version was released in 1996 on October via Koro Koro Comics.
So you could get the blue, but you had to order it.
Yes. And then that later was available in retail in 1999. So 3 years.
Yay, I was born.
Later. Yeah. In North America, red and blue. So they didn't get the green. They got the blue one. In 1998, in September. And in Europe, we got a year later in October. So 1999. Europe gets things quite a bit late.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that due to just logistics, or do you think it just comes down to, these Westerners won't like this?
I don't know. I mean, America is technically closer to Japan, isn't it?
True.
Also, Japan had better relations with America because after the whole Second World War. The Americans kind of grabbed a hold of Japan and didn't let go. Quite a bit late. So they had
that sounds very Hong Kongish. We're not getting into that.
That's a different country, but okay.
No, it sounds very. It's like the China just want it and just won't let go because they're like.
Yeah. Then in 1998, in Japan, Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition was released. Pokemon
What
Yellow.
made it special?
Because instead of having a choice of 3 Pokemons, you get Pikachu, and that's about it. Also, Pikachu followed you around. So in 1998,
is this the start of their bullshit? You have to buy.
Where is it? So the anime aired on 1997, and of course the companion to Ash Ketchum was Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought, why not release Pikachu version? It's a bit more faithful to the anime.
Yeah.
So it's like it has Jesse and James kind of. I've played. I can't remember. But you're basically Ash, and Pikachu is your Pokemon. He follows you around.
Did they release a yellow limited edition Game Boy?
Probably.
To go alongside it, because I remember seeing.
I know the cartridge is yellow.
Yeah, and I think they did a limited edition.
Most likely, yes.
Of yellow to coincide with.
There's like 100
release.
limited editions of Game Boy, so probably yeah.
I wish they did more limited edition consoles, like limited edition Nintendo Switches and.
What do you mean more? There's like one every month almost. There's a Pokemon one from Let's Go Pikachu. There was a Pokemon Light for Sword and Shield. There was Smash Brothers. There was I think did they release Fire Emblem? I'm not sure. I know they released for Dragon Quest. I think there was a Mario Odyssey one.
But they're not.
Then
they're
like
not,
100 different Joy-Cons.
They're not in cool colours though. I want like a really.
They're in cool colours. You don't like them, but
back then they did like a fucking bright yellow one, fully bright yellow, fully bright green, and you had like loads of weird patterns, and it was the 90s. Okay, sorry, continue.
Anyway, in North America, the yellow edition released in October 1999, and Europe again in June of 2000. So again, Europe was like, guys,
so the boat took a year to get here.
Yeah. Basically, that's exactly what happened.
Oh god!
It's probably like a rowboat with just 2 cartridges.
We're coming. I mean, it really annoys me because Japan has such like amazing food, like culture, games, and then they're like, "Oh, Europe won't like this," and then we're like, "Give, please," and they're like, "Oh, that Comic-Con thing won't ever go off."
Yeah.
Followed by a Comic-Con every fucking weekend in the UK. With a load of weeaboos.
Yeah.
Oh god. No, not weeaboos. Ugh. I really like Japanese culture, but I think the way that we look at it is very fucking weird. It's...
Yeah, I guess.
Because...
I mean, every culture is a bit weird to somebody else.
Yeah, because you have cod for Christmas dinner.
And you have turkey. It's weird.
It's not weird.
Who likes turkey? Turkey's like everyone's least favorite meat.
Yeah, but then you have 4 other meats to coincide it to kind of
Why not just have the 4 meats? What's the point of turkey? You're just stealing from the Americans. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah. So maybe we want to be sheep and follow them around. Maybe Tim eats sheep.
That's not what the Welsh supposedly do with sheep.
So what do Welsh do with sheep?
Let's go back on track.
Do you think Wales ever got Game Boys?
Probably not. Definitely not in Welsh.
They're like 10 years behind us.
Definitely not in Welsh.
Oh, I imagine a Welsh Pikachu.
Actually, I would like to know when Pokemon was released in Portugal. Wait, let me check.
I mean,
because normally we get stuff way later.
So let's have a look. Pokemon, Welsh,
yeah. Let's all talk while we research some stuff.
36. Okay, this is a BuzzFeed article.
I'm sure.
36 ways Pokemon would be different if it were Welsh. Right, let's see what they say. Number 1, franchise would be called Pokémon with a U instead of an O. The aim, I got to Kawich them all. They changed the A to a W.
Oh, God.
Ash would grow up in a tiny terrace house in Mount Pleasant, Marith. Although he'd only grow up to be 5 feet 2 inches tall, Misty would be one of those annoying girls whose parent funded her lifeguard lessons during primary school. Pokemons would become in 3 sizes: Naff, Tidy, and Bendigodig. Yeah.
Bendigodig. Sounds. Yeah,
Team Rocket would be English, and you'd battle the Elite Four at. Yeah, I'm not going to read any more Welsh because I can't fucking understand.
Yeah, so I can only find when it was released in Europe, not Portugal, specifically.
So has Pexit already happened 20 years ago?
No, we just got stuff later. It's fine. So that was the first generation. They released like 1,500 games there.
And what about the trading card game?
The trading card game, wait for it, was released in October 1996, so 6 months after the video game. In the US, it was first published in 1999.
It's usually the other way around. Usually you have the card game and they make a game out of it. No,
not in Japan.
They make a game.
First they made the game and then they made the Pokemon cards.
They make the game go, right, we're not making enough money out of this, let's make trading card.
According to the Pokemon website, as of August this year, it has sold over 27.2 billion cards worldwide.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
And some of them are like ridiculously rare.
Yeah, like the Charizard from the base set. The first set is base set, which is composed of 102 cards. Including Pokemon, energy cards, and trainer cards. Do you have a Charizard in the set? It needs to be first edition.
I'll let you have a look and see if it's...
We'll have a look to see if...
Just hope that my brother hasn't locked his door.
You're rich.
Yeah, it's nice.
The card game was released... Since then, the card game has released 86 sets in the US and 76 in Japan. So there's more sets in the US than Japan.
Why?
I don't know how. I don't know why. It's because, I guess...
Some Americans would buy more sets.
Yeah, I guess, maybe.
Or Japan just get cooler cards and they don't need others.
Maybe.
Have you seen, like, when you look online, a lot of the Japanese cards look so much better than...
Yeah, they're different.
They are amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
And the same goes for, like, Magic Gathering cards. Like, you can get different languages and some of them, the design is slightly different and it looks amazing.
So the trading card game has been released in 13 languages.
Can we play Magic?
Sure.
I haven't got a deck.
Including Portuguese.
Have you got...
I have 2. They probably suck, but I do have 2.
Can we invest in a third and let's have like one day a week where me, you and Tim...
and Tim will bail. Sure.
And Tim will bail.
Let's play Magic. Yeah. So it's been released in 13 languages, including Portuguese. I'm pretty sure I have some Portuguese cards back home. And in 77 countries and regions.
So pretty much a card is in every single country in the world.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't... They haven't been released in every country because there's more than 77 countries, but yeah. So that was... Should we talk about the anime? I'll go to the main games first because I want to go through all of the main games.
Alright.
Let's go to the second gen.
Let's go to second gen.
Second gen saw the release of Gold and Silver.
Cool.
In 1999, November in Japan. And then in North America in 2000 in October. In Europe, because why not, in April of 2001.
Fucking hell, what? We get everything so late.
Yeah, Europe's taking a while to catch up. Hurry up, seriously. It's embarrassing.
Does that still happen nowadays?
It doesn't now. Because we get worldwide releases.
And plus, you can go on like Facebook and say, "Send me shit," and they will just put it on a plane.
In the Switch, you can just switch to like a different store region. So I could technically log in to like the Japan store and get the game early.
I was going to tell about a story about PlayStation Home, and I realised that has no relevance. Essentially,
let's ignore it then.
Let's ignore it, and then I realised that I was going to talk about it. Did you ever play the game PlayStation Home?
No.
So it was a game on the PlayStation 3 exclusive where it was, do you know Second Life?
Yes.
Imagine that, but only for the PlayStation, and it's full of brand names. That was PlayStation Home. And,
sounds terrible.
And then it was like you get an apartment and you can fill it with shit that you have to buy.
How does this have anything to do with Pokemon?
I was getting to it. And then I remembered I had to make a Japanese account. You make a Japanese email and then had to register it in some weird fashion because Japan gets something completely different, a different PlayStation Home. See, it does have relevance, and the reason why I did that is because it was a shit ton better. Because PlayStation is Japanese.
Yes, that's true.
So,
well, Sony is Japanese company.
Yeah. So we're saying the best consoles come from Japan.
Yes.
And they make the best arcade machines as well.
Yes.
And then Xbox is American.
That's true.
And it's a bit shit.
That's also true.
Cool. We got there in the end.
I mean, not the worst, like, piece of gaming, I guess, device, kind of. It's the Google Stadia.
You're wrong.
How? It's not working at all. Have you seen reviews of it?
Have you ever seen the console that Apple made?
No, I have not.
It's fucking terrible.
Okay. But right now,
at this
exact moment,
at this side of the millennium,
at 12/12, in what's the date? The 26th of November 2019.
No, 20 something because we're always a week ahead, right?
Always, of course. The 20.
We're not speedily editing this, just trying to get it out because
we're actually so ahead. We're recording this in 2007. That's the truth.
So it's 2007, guys. Should be careful. In a year's time, the financial crash is coming in. So invest now.
Also, mark my words, Pokemon's going to release a shit ton of stuff, including a movie where Pikachu is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but
I know that sounds crazy, but it's true, and I'm totally in 2007.
But you wouldn't have to be a time travel to know that shit was going to happen anyway.
But who predicted that Ryan Reynolds going to play Pikachu?
If Ryan Reynolds is on every person's prediction for everything.
Detective Pikachu didn't even exist in 2007. This is breaking news, okay? Stop
Detective Pikachu.
Stop
The only reason we all liked it is because we just saw all our favourite Pikachus on screen.
I nearly fell asleep. Let's move on.
Didn't someone actually fall asleep? Oh, wait,
Tim
fell asleep while watching
I nearly fell asleep.
And there was a guy sitting behind us being the most obnoxious fuck I've ever seen.
The names of the Pokemon, we get it.
It's like, Bulbasaur! Oh my god! Please. Can you? And we turned around, and then you turned around and gave him the most evil look I've ever seen in my life. And they're like, okay, sorry. And then 5 seconds later, Gyarados! Wow! And you're just like...
Stop it!
And then Toby does that whole turn around, and I was like, oh, okay. Yikes.
Moving on from a mediocre movie.
Hey, it's only mediocre if you like.
Did you know what game came out after Gold and Silver?
No, because I didn't really play them after that.
Crystal.
Oh, wow.
You should know it, honestly.
When did Fire Red come out?
We're getting to it.
Okay.
2 more years. Wait, no, 4.
Okay.
Well, it depends if you're in Japan or not. So Crystal came out...
Am I in Japan?
You're not in Japan.
Have I ever been to Japan?
Okay, I forgot what I was saying. Crystal came out in Japan in December 2000. Stop it.
I like to derail you so much. It's so much fun.
And in North America, it came out in July 2001. In Europe, we're catching up now. November 2001. So now we're getting in the same year as America. So we're getting closer.
Was that before or after the flights were grounded? Are we saying Pokemon caused 9/11?
No, because they received it in July. The Americans. Close.
Go along with my memes, okay?
Close.
I want to say that a Game Freak caused 9/11.
Yeah. Oh well, close. Caused 9/11. Just looking for Ash and it crashed into the.
That's why his name's
North
Ash,
Tower.
because he burnt the steel.
Exactly. It melted, even though it wasn't melted at all.
And then Pikachu dies. Oh wait, he did die, and then they brought him back to life.
He dies in several movies.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the third gen.
Pika.
I think the third gen is the first one that I played. In an emulator. On an actual device. I think.
So you didn't actually have the correct console in the correct era. What are you doing?
The first time that I played Pokemon in an actual Nintendo device was in 2007.
Right.
When Diamond and Pearl came out. That's still ahead. That's a generation ahead. Let's go back to the third generation.
Let's go back to the good generations.
Are you a Gen 1er?
Yeah, I'm a Gen 1er. Okay.
So Ruby and Sapphire came out in Japan in 2002 in November. And then in America it came out in 2003 in March. And in Europe 2003 in July. So again, we're catching up.
I'm trying to work out when Leaf Green came out.
That's next.
Hey, I'm getting that. I'm learning.
In Leaf Green and Fire Red, we have the first remakes. I guess Yellow's not a remake.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well,
so we have the first remakes.
It's not a remake. It's just kind of re-release.
No, it's a remake. They updated graphics. You can now be a woman, which you couldn't in Red and Green. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Crystal was the first Pokemon game where you can choose between are you a boy or a girl. Before then, women didn't play Pokemon.
Where's the drop down says other? Where can I select my Apache helicopter?
They might be on the newest Pokemon game. I haven't played it yet.
Male,
we'll get to that.
Female, other, please specify.
Please choose one of these 1,000 genders that totally exist.
If it's 1,001, that should get stupid.
That's just good. That's too much.
That's too much.
Like, honestly, chill out.
We're going to get so much hate for this. I mean,
we love everyone and
just
are accepting
we accept everyone. Just don't be a dick and just enjoy life. So
Fire Red and Leaf Green were released in Japan in 2004 in January, and then in North America in 2004 in September, and in Europe a month later. So Europe is almost there.
We're getting there, slowly but surely.
And then when they released Emerald, Europe took a step back. Because in Japan it came out in 2004 in September. So they released like 2 Pokemon games in a year in Japan. That's a bit much. And then North America 2005 in May, and then Europe was like, no, that was too close. We're not going to release in October 2005. So like,
a year.
No, we need to make people wait. It's not a year, it's like 6 months.
Half a year. Yeah, actually, to be fair,
Japan was like, let's release all the games in this year. North America and Europe like, let's wait a year.
I think that's a more cultural thing because in Europe we're like we'll buy one or we won't buy both. We'll buy one. Where in Japan it might be we'll just buy anything.
We'll buy everything.
We'll just buy it. And it probably is cheaper out there as well.
I don't know. I know that games in Europe are technically cheaper here. Because like the new ones, I think it's $60 in the US. And here is only £50.
Only £50?
Yes.
I remember when the PlayStation 3 came out and I saw £40 for the price ticket and I wanted to cry. And now we're like, £40 for a full game?
Wow, that is a bargain.
That is a bargain. Let's buy Call of Duty at £50 and let's subscribe you to a Battle Pass for 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't like modern games. It annoys me. I just want to pay for a fucking game and be done with it.
There's still some that exist like that. So, anyway, so let's move on to the first gen. The first gen that I played on a proper Nintendo DS Lite.
Oh, you had a DS Lite.
Yes.
So you didn't buy the original DS.
That bulky thing now.
You didn't buy the 3DS.
I got the 3DS. Yes, that was after.
So you wanted to hallucinate and give yourself migraines.
Yeah, I didn't use the 3D.
Did anyone use 3D? No. I think there's probably 1 or 2 games that actually supported proper 3D, and the rest of them were like, you press this and it kind of makes it.
It makes you now you have a headache.
Now you've got a headache.
Fun.
I remember when that first came out, there was a game there's a game store in my town. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they had the exact same game. It's called Game, ironically. And there was one at the top and one at the bottom.
Yeah.
About 3-minute walk between them. Yet it had 2. Exact same stores. Don't know why.
Makes sense.
Then they had a game station next door. And only one had the 3DS when it first came out. And there was a queue of people trying to play it. And I remember that I played it for the first time. I went, fuck this. I remember it giving me a headache. And then I went bought another copy of San Andreas.
Why did you buy another copy?
It's because I Tipex my other one.
Okay.
I was an annoying kid.
Yeah, on that Christmas, because Diamond Pearl came out in 2006 in September in Japan, and in North America 2007 in April, and Europe in 2007 July. And on that Christmas of 2007, I got the DS Lite and Pokémon and Nintendogs.
I think everyone had Nintendogs. I was going to say, in your defense, every single person had Nintendogs.
You had to.
We all kind of liked it, but we all didn't want to admit that we liked it.
It was mandatory. It was cute for the first 5 times you play it, and then it gets boring. There isn't much to do. You pet a dog, you feed him, you play with him, and then you give him a bath.
It was kind of like a less shit version of the Tamagotchi. That wouldn't go. That you wouldn't have to have in class and go off and annoy everyone with that stupid
and you
sound.
Didn't die immediately if you looked away from it.
I remember in my class there was a bunch of girls that would have these Tamagotchis because they had a little keyring on it. And do you know how that make that really weird 8-bit type sound whenever it needed feeding? It would go off constantly. To the point where
it was annoying.
To the point where they were banned outright in my school.
Yeah.
They got confiscated every fucking day. And people would be in tears because they would be put in a drawer and left the entire day and they would die. And it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Having the cool girls cry over a game is quite funny.
Very funny.
I say cool. They probably are. They've probably all got about 7 kids by now.
That's a possibility, yes.
Yeah.
So after Diamond Pearl, we got Platinum in 2008 for Japan and 2009 for North America and Europe.
How did they come up with this naming scheme?
I don't know.
Red, green, blue.
They're colours.
They're colours, and then it came out with crystal.
It's minerals.
What? Blue's mineral?
No, the second generation is the mineral crystal. I don't know.
So generation 1 is colour.
Yes.
Generation 2 is minerals.
Probably.
Generation 3 is what?
Gemstones.
Ah.
I'm so smart.
You're so smart. With your ill-fitting Pikachu hat that doesn't fit.
Shut up. And
how does that not fit?
It fits and then it starts coming off because it's small. And then the second remake, Earth Gold, Soul Silver, which I think are the best games of the series, the main series. They're so cute. They're amazing. Your Pokemon walks behind you. It's adorable. They came out in 2009 in Japan, and then in North America.
Can I agree to disagree because I've never played them?
They're so good. They're awesome and amazing. Stop it.
I'm just showing a hat that the ears flap of Pikachu.
That's adorable, but stop it. I'm trying to concentrate.
I'm really good at derailing you.
After we get on to 5th gen, the most hated generation of Pokemon. I don't know why, but people hate it.
Isn't it because they brought a shitload of new Pikachus and got rid of pretty much all the originals? That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Oh yeah, because you cannot get any old Pokemon until after the end of the game. So it's all in post-game, I think. I've only played Black and White too. And I can't remember it that well. But I think it was a good idea, making completely isolated generation. So people actually have to use the new Pokemon.
And where people actually want something else other than
the same shit over and over again.
Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charizard. Yay, they're all the same.
So Black and White came out in Japan in 2010. And then in North America and Europe. Why are you cleaning your phone to my beanie?
Sorry.
And then in
I can't wait till you get onto Pokemon Go.
Came out in 2011. This game for the first one to have a direct sequel, Black and White 2, which came out in 2012 in Japan and also in 2012 in North America and Europe. June to October is 4 months? 4 months apart.
That's still pretty good. That's still not that...
That's pretty good. Then we get on to 6th gen, X and Y, which we see the first time that Pokemon games are in 3D animation.
Right.
They look pretty good. I liked it.
Let me have a look.
And it's also the first time there's a worldwide release.
Oh, all on the same day?
Yeah, October 12th, 2013. Everyone gets the game. Same time. Were you checking again?
I just want to see what the graphics were.
They're alright. They're not great, but they're alright.
I mean...
Then we have
was
the
it
third
X and
remake.
Y? Was that due to chromosomes?
Who knows? Probably.
That art style... Have you ever played a game called Flyff?
No, I have not.
I'm going to show you a picture.
It's also the first time you could customize your character. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's true. I mean, not really, but okay. Then we have the third remake, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I had Alpha Sapphire. That came out in Japan and North America November 21st, 2014. And because Europe didn't like having the game at the same time that everybody else, for us, came out a week later. In the 28th.
There must have been a reason.
I don't know.
Was there a bank holiday on that day and we're like, fuck it, we'll release it next week?
It's maybe. Then
everyone else in the entire world's going, what the fuck's a bank holiday?
Then we get to the 7th gen. Sun and Moon. Again, Japan and North America got a week before us. In November 18th, 2016. Then Ultra Sun and Moon. Or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Got a worldwide release in 2017.
This is a really shit name scheme for this generation.
And then we get to the newest game. 8th generation. I don't consider Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee main series. I think that's a spin-off-ish. Sword and Shield. In November 2019, which I haven't played yet. And I don't think I'm going to play it anytime soon. You can get them for reasons. That's all of the main releases. That's a lot of games.
At the shop I work, right?
Yes.
Every fucker keeps trying to get Sword and Shield, and we can't get them anywhere.
It's very popular.
It's ridiculously popular.
The graphics are shit, but it's very popular. That's not the only thing that's garbage.
To be fair, I think we can all agree. We don't really care about the graphics if the game's good.
Except the game is good.
Except the game isn't good.
The graphics, honestly. You don't play Pokemon because whatever. But when the Sun and Moon.
Well, you don't play Pokemon for you're weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon. But somebody took the game and put it on his laptop or computer or whatever, and upped the definition to 1080p.
Good.
And it looked good, because it was a 3DS game.
Yep.
But that's how the game on the Switch looks.
So when it's compared to other games,
like what the fuck? Like the main examples of that horrible three. Like honestly, what is that? Like for fuck's sake, how hard? It's apparently the same tree everywhere. They just copy paste it everywhere. So how hard would it be to make it look just a tiny bit better? Just a tiny bit.
Just click the upscale button.
They still have berry trees where you can get like, what's the name of the berries? Orange berries and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen footage like them next to each other in like completely different styles and looks horrible. Looks ridiculous. Like one very like animated, very Pokemon style animated. Like
very Japanese.
Yeah, the green is very vibrant. And then next to it is the dullest, most shittiest tree that I've seen in my life. It looks ridiculous next to each other.
Why do they do that?
Because they're lazy. Game Freak is lazy. Or I guess our Nintendo or the Pokemon company, they're lazy. Like really. Why not have an open world? Why why do I have to go to this specific city? Why can't I go to somewhere else? It doesn't have to be huge.
You just want Pokemon MMO.
Maybe. But like if you take Breath of the Wild, which is like such a great game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open world and you can basically do whatever you want before you go defeat Ganon. So because like there's 4 types of Ganon before the Calamity Ganon. And if you want to go to I can't remember their names. If you want to do like Thunderbolt Ganon first, you can go do that. If you want to do the one on the opposite side of the world, you can do that. Why not put that in Pokemon? It doesn't have to be as huge.
You are literally describing an MMO. You just want a Pokemon MMO.
But like, why have a specific route for the cities and the gyms? Why not like let you choose which city you want to go first? And then in the city, you still have like specific routes. You can just explore. You still have like little fences.
I was going to say,
everywhere.
You've got fences
everywhere. Stupid.
And not only that, it's like, you need to go speak to these particular people to get this particular thing, to go for this particular mine, to get through that gate. You've got like a gate here, and to get through it, you have to do this. You have to go, you've got a fence in front of you. Yeah. Right, how do you get through that? Jump the fucking fence? No. Go through the mine, defeat a load of things, come back, go into the main city, do a few things, come back out again, go back around, and then you're there.
I wouldn't know, but I haven't heard that example.
But that was on Red. That was on the original games.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous. But like, okay, fine, you have specific routes where you have to go to the city. But once you're in the city, why not just let you explore the city instead of having like these little fences everywhere? You just have 2 paths and you go to the Pokemon Center or the Pokemon Mart, and that's it.
So did you think that Pokemon Go is going to kind of fulfill that void?
No.
Or did you think
Pokemon Go? What void would Pokemon fulfill?
I don't know. It's it's open world.
No, it's not.
It is. It's open world.
It's not
how it originally came out, but how it's gone into. You can go anywhere you want. You can collect Pokemon wherever you want. You can battle people. You can do like.
The battle system is fucking gross. The raids, nobody plays it anymore to have like enough raids unless you're in Japan. And it's not really
or unless you go on one of those Facebook pages where like, right, on this date we're going to be meeting up to do this raid, which is actually really cool. I like that.
Yeah,
but when that game first came out, I would go down to any like high street, and all I would see is everyone glued to their phone.
Yeah. No,
it probably helped.
It
probably helped. It was middle of the summer though when it came out here.
Yes, that's true.
So everyone was out. Mm-hmm. Everyone was playing Pokemon, and it was great.
Yeah.
But there was fuck all else to do. You're literally just going around flicking, getting some Pokeballs, collecting Pokemon, and hoping you get 300 Magikarp to make a Gyarados.
It's 400.
Is it 400?
Yes.
400. And
stupid. Ridiculous.
I think I managed to get 130 or 140. I did like 40 miles in like 2 days.
No, it's like...
Well, not in 2 days.
I don't like Pokemon Go.
How many days was it? It was like 5 days.
Pokemon Go was fun for the first month, and then it was just stupid.
It was only fun because everyone else was playing it.
Yeah.
But I still see...
even if you look at battle animations in the new one, instead of having them actually, battle, or like having them kick or punch something, to just hop around. Like do 2 hops for like double kick. It's exactly the same animations from the 3DS. Exactly. It's so stupid.
Why? They could have... If they wanted to keep it simple, they could have just taken the original like Gen 1 system and no one could play it. They'd be like, oh, they're doing it like the original, fair enough. But by looks of it, it just looks shit. It's not good and it's not nostalgic. It's bit shit.
It doesn't look like they put any effort into it.
I mean,
and there's this thing about National Dex. I honestly didn't really care if all of the Pokemon weren't there. I think if they did like in this like just only new Pokemon for like the first game on Switch, and then bring the other one later on. I think that would be better.
Or they could have released it.
But no, they for some reason they said they would cut like half of it because they're remodeling all of the Pokemon. And then turns out that was a lie because people did some like data mining.
And they didn't find fuck all.
It's the exactly same model from the 3DS. It's ridiculous. It doesn't show any effort into it.
Yeah, but it makes them so much money.
Because people still buy it because people are stupid.
It's like...
And I want to buy it too because I want to play it because I love Pokemon. But like...
at the same time, do you know the only place I've ever seen in the last year people actually playing that?
What?
When you're at Comic-Con, people still fucking play it. Loads of people still play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And then because I went to MCM Birmingham.
It's a Comic-Con and it's different.
And the NEC itself was a fucking Pokestop.
Yeah.
So people just stood there, all of them.
Like,
I was like, okay, this is quite cool. But this is a very particular thing. Like I wanted it to...
won't play it the rest of the year. It's like it's Comic-Con, like...
We could do some battles, we could do this. I just kind of want... If Pokemon Go should have been how it initially started out, like everyone's playing it, you get to meet people, have fun, but it ended up just being boring as fuck, and then it took them years to make it decent. Well, I say decent, you're still triggered.
Honestly, I don't... Sword and Shield, like, I want to play it, but at the same time I don't. And it's very confusing, like, because I know I'm going to have fun with it, because it's still Pokemon. You're still catching new cute Pokemon, like, playing around them, and battling, and you go and win the Pokemon League, and it still feels amazing. At the same time, it looks like crap.
Just looks terrible.
And it's the same stuff over and over. There's no story, like, I'm not a writer, but I wish they could put some actual story into it. Surely that has a way. Like, they're putting anything at all other than, here's a bad guy. Go defeat him for reasons. Also, why is the rival choosing a Pokemon that's weaker to yours? Like, why not? Because, like, they used to do, you picked, like, Charizard and they picked Squirtle because they have the advantage. They don't do it anymore. And that's often used as evidence, like, Pokemon is so much easier than it used to be. And I don't agree with that. Except for the exact, like, thing, like, if you now pick the fire Pokemon, you'll probably pick the grass Pokemon.
Do you know why people say that it's easier now than it was?
Because they're older.
No, not just that.
Yeah.
You can go onto Google and it will tell you the fucking answers. That's also true,
like... If I'm stumped on something, I'll try it for like 10 minutes. Like, yeah, I'll just...
Everyone, back in the day...
Yeah. If you were stuck, you were stuck. Unless your friend...
If you basically had to have a friend that knew, or you'd have to go in and buy a game guide and hope that it tells you.
Yes.
Like, there was the internet, but...
Yeah, it's different.
It was completely different. You couldn't just
see 5 seconds, you can like have a whole tutorial, a walkthrough of the game.
You can literally have someone go, right, this is what you do, here, and then you're done. That's why...
That's true.
But have you tried to play a really difficult game just by playing it instead of trying to use like game guides and YouTube tutorials? You get really frustrated very easily.
I try not, like, if I'm really stumped, I'll use it. Google. But I try not to in any game that I play. I've played, like, when I play Pokemon, I sometimes have, like, Pokemon in that game. Another, like, a Twitch streamer, like, Pokemon playing alongside it. Because, like, it's, like, just having background noise. Nice and background noise. And it's not really distracting because they're doing the same thing that you're doing.
But I
you've
never played an MMO, have you? Like a proper MMO?
I don't think so, no.
You rely on your whole game experience relies on having another screen where you can just type things and just know how to do everything.
Yeah.
And so whenever I play a new game, I'm just like, right, okay, I'm struggling. Google.
Yeah, because like the game that I search more is Stardew Valley. So like, because I've played Stardew Valley for like 200 hours. It's crazy. But like, I'm still missing like some crops and some achievements. And like, what I Google is like, when is this crop? Which season is this crop? How long does it grow? And stuff like that.
So it's shit that you'll never know how to do. Like,
it's like, I know I can't remember like, where is this exactly, or what season is this? Why do I need this for? Like, you can also cook. It's like recipes. It's like I made a list like the recipes that I'm missing that I need to cook. So I just went to Google
and then just like right, how do I do this?
What do I need for this recipe?
Did you ever play like GTA? Back in the day,
I played GTA San Andreas, and I had the cheats.
I was gonna say, how do you know where that thing is? Back in the day, you would have written a note somewhere in your game manual or in like a piece of paper that you put inside the game, the case.
I never finished GTA San Andreas. I got to the second city, I think, and I gave up. I was just like ride around. This is what I liked. I would drive around in the motorcycle. And just keep driving. That's what I like to do. I didn't like killing people. And then just
run yourself into walls.
And run myself into walls. That's what I like to do. And like listen. I really like the radio. Their country radio, for some reason, I really liked it. But I had a cheat, like when they sold those like huge books with cheat codes. I had those.
I did like the little pocket-sized one with, and it's like the pages inside were like a really weird grey, off grey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With GTA, I know for a fact that the way that I played it was so weird because I focused all on the missions, so I got to like 99 or 100%.
I didn't,
and I like aced everything, and then until I googled it and I realized that there was one car dealership that unless you did it on like halfway through the game in a particular order, you're never going to open it.
Yeah.
So I was constantly on 99%. How the fuck was I ever going to know about that unless Google was there?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I would love a Pokemon MMO. I think that would be amazing.
I think you could like just change the formula just a tiny bit. Just have an actual open world. It would change so much.
Although you hate it.
Although I hate it. I want to play Pokemon.
No, although you hate it.
What?
Detective Pikachu, that city, when you see it, and you see...
In the movie?
Yeah. See the city, and then you've got all the Pokemon going around, and some of them train and some don't.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but everyone's a player. Someone's chosen to be a Magikarp, someone's chosen to be a Bulbasaur, someone's chosen to be this and that and the other.
Yeah,
and then your whole thing is about leveling yourself up to get to the maximum evolution.
Yeah.
Then you'd have one guy who takes like 3 years to become a Gyarados. I think that'd be pretty amazing, to be fair.
I wouldn't do it.
Why not?
Gyarados is not good enough for me to do 3 years.
Play 3 years to become a fucking Gyarados.
It's too much.
Literally just spend the entire time just slapping people in the faces as a fish.
You're just splashing around.
Just splash. And you die constantly.
So now I'm going to read all of the spin-off games. Not all of them. There's some PC games that was like, no, too much.
Too much.
So we have Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Stadium 2, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Pokemon Battle Revolution, Pokemon Trading Card Game, the video game, Pokemon Play It, Pokemon Card GB2 Here Comes Great Team Rocket, Pokemon...
These fucking names are terrible.
Pokemon TCG Online, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Keep Going Blazing Adventure Squad,
Keep going.
Let's Go Stormy Adventure Squad, and Go For It Light Adventure Squad, Those were 3 games. Okay, they were only released in Japan. And then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. What were you doing on your phone?
It just sounds like the most shit. Like we can capitalize this. What game we've got? Pokemon Ranger,
and then Pokemon Rumble, Pokemon Rumble Blast, Pokemon Rumble U, Pokemon Rumble World, Pokemon Rumble Rush, and then that's like small franchises inside of Pokemon.
I know for a fact there's going to be so many people out there who've got like all of this.
Yeah, and then after that we also have Hey You Pikachu, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Channel, Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Dash, Pokemon Rosé, Pokemon Mate. No wait, Pokemate. That was only in Japan. Pokemon Batrio, only in Japan. My Pokemon Ranch, Pokepark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure, Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure, Pokepark 2 Wonders Beyond, Pokemon Conquest, Pokemon Treta, only in Japan. Pokemon Treta Lab, also only in Japan.
Pokemate. I've just I've just shown a picture of what Pokemate looks like. It looks like the most ghetto ass like.
Pokemon Battle Rosé, Pokemon Shuffle, Pokken Tournament, Pokemon Picross, Detective Pikachu, Pokemon Gaole, only released in Japan. Pokemon Magikarp Jump, Pokemon
Magikarp Jump.
Yes.
I've got to see this. What is it called? Pokemon Magikarp Jump.
I think that's a mobile app.
Pokemon
Tournament DX, Pokemon Quest, and then we have Pokemon Go, Pokemon Duel, Camp Pokemon, Pokemon Masters. Again, there's more like when the weird.
Oh my god! I've just looked up Pokemon Magikarp Jump.
Yes.
Oh my god! It looks so. Why is there a Snorlax up there just like chilling?
Chilling around. Snorlax is cool.
Oh my god! Why have I not?
Like honestly, what's
Pokemon Magikarp Jump?
I love Pokemon. It's too much.
Pokemon Magikarp Jump.
It's too much. Like Jesus. How about you like slow down and make some actually good games? Ooh, burn.
Ooh, burn. I mean, they did. Then they came out with.
And then they gave up.
Hey, nice.
That's a lot of spin-off games.
That is fucking terrible.
The Pokemon word lost meaning to me halfway through.
This literally could be any other thing, and they just go right. Let's
put Pokemon in it.
They just go cut.
Do you know
paste.
Puzzle Challenge? What about Pikachu on it?
Do you know that game that was going to make called Fish Jump?
Yes.
Magikarp Jump.
Magikarp. Yeah.
We might have to pay them a lot of money for the royalties to use it, but we'll make more money.
There's probably for sure more stuff out there. It's too much.
People's like side projects that they make on like Unreal.
Yeah, there's like a ton of like fake Pokemon games.
I wonder, has anyone
like
created
Pokemon Xionite or whatever?
Pokemon Unreal Engine. Unreal.
What is your cat doing?
Oh, my cat's weird.
He's like just licking himself on top of my back.
Well, he's licking his own, he's
trying to eat in some pot.
Oh my god. Have you ever seen Pokemon Unreal Engine?
Oh, Jesus. Let's run away from the spin-offs. And let's not go into the dark web of like weird Pokemon games. Or where the Pokemon actually die. It's whatever.
Or the stuff that people make about Pokemon for the internet. No. Moving on.
We've only talked a little bit about the anime at the beginning, so let's talk about the anime for a little bit.
We forgot about the OG, the original.
No. What?
The original Pokemon series.
Yeah. That was the only one I remember seeing.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so...
With like 1 million episodes.
Pokemon also had a TV show. Animated TV show. That's still going to this day. That follows Ash Ketchum. Which in Japan his name is Satoshi. And his friends. It first aired in TV
Why
Tokyo.
didn't they just keep it as...
in Japan.
Why didn't they just keep it at that name?
What kids, like, American kids, like... Oh, my favorite character is Satoshi. It's not American enough. He needs to be American. Not at Ash. It's like a great game, like us. Look at my bag.
Satoshi would get away... You could get away with calling it now.
Satoshi.
You could get away with calling it now, because everyone...
Oh yeah, now they wouldn't change it. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, no, Ash sounds easier.
Yeah. Also, Ketchum is a pun on Gotta Catch 'Em All. In case nobody knew that. I didn't know that until I did the research. I
don't know if it picked up on microphone, but I just did the most like sarcastic clap of all time.
I didn't know it. I was like, never clicked in my mind. It's like, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, what?
It aired on TV Tokyo in Japan on April 1st, 1997, so it's April jokes.
April Fool's joke.
Yeah. And it was produced by Oriental Light and Magic. Incorporated.
There's a company called Magic.
Oriental Light and Magic, yes.
I like this. This sounds really good. Can we change our company name?
Yes, to Magic.
Magic. Dino Magic Productions.
Dino Magic Productions. I love it.
Oh, I like this.
It has 1,093 main series episodes and 22 movies. It's been aired in 169 countries and regions. 1,000 episodes. Like, oh my god. Like, if today you want to go, actually, I want to go back and see all of it. It would take you like 15 years.
You saying that?
If you did nothing else.
I've pretty much done the same. I've pretty much done that.
With the Doctor Who?
Yep. So Doctor Who, if I'm going to put it in perspective, I've watched every single episode of Doctor Who, all the spin-offs.
Yeah.
I've watched every single Confidential. That is more than 1,000. Probably about 1,200 episodes. And that's taken me years to get through. So imagine if one day you think, actually, I'll put the original Pokemon episode 1 on. You'll be there. Actually, let's Google this. Pokemon.
It's like 20 minutes each episode, I think.
Anime series.
It also has like the American one has like the best theme song of all fucking time.
I would put it in, but probably get taken out of copyright.
Can you just sing it? Sing it a little bit.
Yeah, go on.
Sing it.
I'm listening.
Sing it.
I'm listening.
Sing it.
No, I'm listening.
Sing it. Do it.
I'm not a performing monkey.
Oh, there you. Excuse me? What? Of course you are.
You don't know. You don't understand the reference, do you?
I don't know.
Because you've never watched the Cornetto trilogy.
I have not.
I still judge you to this day for not watching the best series of all time.
Shaun of the Dead. I have the Blu-ray. I haven't seen it. I apologize.
Can
my street cred.
Can next week we do our podcast based on the Cornetto trilogy to force you to watch it? Oh. Yeah. Hey, I went out and watched Sound of Music.
Sound of Music is like the best movie of all time.
I beg to differ. Shaun of the Dead is the best movie.
It's also a musical.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz and Wild End is the best trilogy and best movie series of all time.
Disagree. Sing Pokemon thing.
No. If you caught my reference, I'd be singing right now.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
This is going to become a clip that I'm going to play.
Aww.
Jokes, I'm not doing any editing.
Yay.
You think I'm doing editing for this podcast? I sometimes forget to put the intro and outro on, don't I?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Also, they also have a manga. Ongoing manga series called Pokémon Adventures with 53 volumes released.
Is it a spin-off?
It's not. It's kind of like a mix of the anime and the game. In like people, not people. Pokemon like die. I have the first 2 volumes. I think it's the first one. They're like, what's the evolution of Ekans? I can do this. I can't. I don't remember. But the evolution of Ekans like gets cut off in half. It's beautiful and amazing.
Most expensive Pokemon card.
What is it?
The most expensive Pokemon card of all time is Machamp First Edition.
Is it? No. Seriously? I thought it would be like Charizard. But I said Charizard. Okay.
Actually, no, it's not. What is it?
It is a Japanese card, Japanese promo of something.
It looks like...
It's a trainer card.
Is that Pikachu?
No, it's...
Yeah, it is. Look.
It's Pikachu drawing something. Okay.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
Yeah.
It's a rarest Pokemon card in the world, has sold for £150,000.
Nice.
What's that in Stupid Bunny? 150k in euros.
Euros is not stupid money.
It's 175,000 euros.
Dollars is stupid money.
How dare you?
Stolen my childhood. Speaking of the anime,
right?
Have you heard of the Electric Soldier Porygon episode? Or the Porygon accident?
No.
So on December 16th in 1997, more than 635 Japanese children were admitted to the hospital with epileptic seizures. Ring a bell? No? It was determined the seizures were caused by watching an episode of Pokémon Deno Senshi Porygon. Most commonly...
That was a good... I praise you for that.
I was proud of that. Most commonly translated Electric Soldier Porygon, Season 1, Episode 38. As a result, this episode has not been aired since.
Can I watch it?
Probably.
What's it called? What's it called again?
Deno Senshi Porygon.
So Pokemon...
In this particular episode, there were bright explosions with rapidly alternating blue and red color patterns. It was determined in subsequent research that these strobing light effects cause some individuals to have epileptic seizures, even if the person does not have previous history of epilepsy. This incident is a common focus of Pokemon-related parodies. Yeah. I mean, I can see that. He's showing me like a bit of the episode which I guess caused the seizures. I mean, even that like 15 seconds, like, give me the beginning of a headache. Like, What was I? This incident is common focus of Pokemon-related parodies in the media and was lampooned by The Simpsons episode 30 Minutes Over Tokyo and South Park episode Shin Pokémon, among others.
I mean, what hasn't Simpsons done?
That's true.
We've done this before.
We never heard of that episode that like caused seizures
in
kids. I heard of it before. I knew about it.
Is that the one where Homer has his own cereal that has his face?
I wouldn't know about which episode it is from The Simpsons. Also, other controversies involving Pokemon. Pokemon has been several times accused of promoting animal cruelty by PETA.
Yeah, look,
because you're like, it's animals fighting each other, which I can see why. Yeah, that's probably it. Which I can see why, because it is animals fighting each other. But it's a game. I don't know why we're blaming animal cruelty on games. It's the same thing with cheating.
It's because...
Like, honestly.
It's because it isn't guns that kill people, it's video games.
It's video games, yeah. Also, in 1999, Nintendo stopped manufacturing the Japanese version of the Koga's Ninja Trick trading card because it depicted a manji, a traditionally Buddhist symbol with no negative connections. The Jewish civil rights group Anti-Defamation League complained because the symbol is the reverse of a swastika, a Nazi symbol.
What's it called? Pokemon?
It's Koga's Ninja Trick. I'm hungry. The cards were intended for sale in Japan only, but the popularity of Pokemon led to the import into the United States with approval from Nintendo. The Anti-Defamation League understood that the issue symbol was not intended to offend and acknowledged the sensitivity that Nintendo showed by removing the product. I mean, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've just had a look at the card itself, and yeah, that looks like
it looks like a swastika. But I'm pretty sure the
Buddhist symbol of peace also looks
came
like that.
before the swastika. It is a Buddhist symbol.
But sometimes they put dots around it.
So it looks less like them.
Yeah, because if I'm going to show you...
But it's not their fault. It's not his fault. They took it, they twisted a little bit, and boom.
Yeah, if I show you
symbol of hatred.
Sometimes they put dots around it. Or they curl up the ends.
Yeah. So it's a shame, really, because the Buddhist religion, one of the most specific ones. It's less violence whatsoever.
It's one of the least violent and most peaceful religions of
all time. And then the Nazis come in and
we're
taking that. We're taking that.
Just as my own experiences, I've never ever met a nasty or a horrible or an annoying Buddhist person ever.
I don't know if I've ever met a Buddhist person.
There's a list of cultures and religions of people that I've met, and I keep them in my brain bank.
I mean, probably I'm an atheist, so religion doesn't really come up because I immediately say I'm an atheist, and that ends all conversations.
I'm triggered.
Religion.
Did you know that God built the whole world in 7 days?
Yeah.
Of course. Because he wasn't gonna, go on strike on day 6.
There was also a Christian priest or whatever. They complained about Pokémons because they look like demonic beasts or whatever. It was something weird like that. And then
let me guess: is this in America where they also think that the Monster Energy drink, when you turn it upside down, shows the devil? Of course,
something like that. And then they released their own Pokemon. Their own trading card game with the Bible figures. Sounds so much interesting now.
That sounds so interesting, seeing fucking Bible figures on trading cards.
Yeah.
Let's start digging ourselves out of this hole that we put ourselves in.
Also, in 1999 was a busy year for Nintendo and Pokemon. 2 9-year-old boys from Merrick, New York sued Nintendo because they claimed the Pokemon trading card game caused their problematic gambling. Another thing game causes
video games.
Gambling addiction.
Causes the issues. Don't you understand? It's not the fact that they had really addictive personalities, I presume, with probably other issues. It's the game. 100%.
Also, speaking of gambling, on the remake of Ruby and Sapphire, Omega Ruby, Half Sapphire, where there used to be a game corner where you could gamble, on the remake it was closed. Literally closed, with a note on the game, oops. Yeah, so that's the thing, Pokemon games used to have gambling. It was slot machines.
Slot machines, yeah.
It was gambling. You bought coins, you used them up trying to get more coins, and most of the time you lost them. It was gambling. If your 9-year-old has a gambling problem, it's probably your fault, not the game.
And if it's the game's fault, I don't believe you.
No.
It's like
also take the game away. If that's the game's fault, take the game away.
It's also like those people who go into gambling shops and complain they've got a gambling addiction and they can't stop. Yet they're the same people who wake up, put their shoes on, walk down.
Okay, that's gambling addiction.
And that's the thing. I understand a gambling addiction exists, but in video games,
no. The video games is not the cause of it.
It's not the cause of it.
Also, because you can't really, you're not spending money on it. It's like coins that you buy with from battling. It's in-game money. You're not actually throwing your life savings away. If that's
the case, then I know that certain countries have restrictions of what you can and can't do. So, for example, in China, you can't show bones. There might be countries around the world where gambling is completely outlawed, so they might just went.
I thought Pokemon cares about that, but they did remove about those countries. Yeah. But they did remove gambling, mainly because the age rating was after X and Y, or after X and Y, they had gambling was like 12 plus.
Right.
And they didn't want that. They wanted like for everyone, because kids. So they took gambling away, so it's for everyone.
For everyone.
I think that's it. Because if you go on like the eShop, or like in the 3DS, and you can buy the virtual console, like red and blue and yellow, they have a different rating than the new Pokemon games.
Just because they
have gambling. Yeah.
So, do you remember in GTA San Andreas, going back to it, you also had the gambling slot machines?
I mean,
I turned out to be a really bad gambler, just so you know.
Look, ratings are there for a reason. But
no, ratings are there, so it tells you that your parents have to buy it for you.
Yeah, because I had to convince my mom and dad to get me GTA San Andreas. Because I was like 12. And that was for 18 plus. It was a horrible decision. But like,
it was a horrible decision.
If I then turned around
you
and
turned out fine.
drove a car into a pub or like a school or whatever, my parents couldn't turn around and blame the game on it. It's like, no. I mean, clearly I'm a crazy person. It's not the game's fault.
Please don't drive a car into a school or into a pub. Please don't.
What about spoons?
No.
Into spoons.
I mean, you could, but I'm pretty sure everyone would just ignore the car that just ploughed through the wall and just gone.
And then I order.
And then just flick on I order and then go on Instagram and complain.
Yes.
Actually, hold on. Not Instagram. Probably Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Maybe a bit of Flickr because they were a bit old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So are we the hipster spoons lot?
Yes, we're hipsters.
Okay, I like it. Sat there with my my jumper and my Badger shirt on.
Sure.
Feeling the sway. But
okay. So to end this crazy
how the fuck did we get off topic?
I don't know. It always happens. I don't know why.
I blame you. I blame you.
Me? Favorite Pokemon. To end this.
Oh, Magikarp.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he turns into fucking Gyarados.
Gyarados not even that good. It's like 4 times weak to electric Pokemon.
I don't care. It's
not that good. Also, nah.
Plus, he's dumb as fuck and he's really funny.
Magikarp is a funny Pokemon.
Magikarp is.
It's
every
a
time
Pokemon.
you see him, you just can't but smile because he's so stupid. Like he's gonna lose every time, but it's amazing.
Yeah, my favorite Pokemon was Turtwig because it was my starter, my first proper starter. Also, what you name your Pokemon? For some reason, when I was a kid, I always named like my starter Max. I don't know why. I think it had to do with the fact there was like a show with a dog that was named Max. But
Chibi.
Because
I was a little fat kid and couldn't spell.
That's fair, I guess.
That's how I've retained my name my entire life.
Because you were fat and now you're super thin and I hate you.
Because I was a little fat kid with blonde hair, with a football head.
With blonde hair?
Yeah, I got pictures.
What?
And I wanted to call myself Chubby because my brother said I was fat, and it's funny.
Okay.
And I called myself Chubby, and I thought it's 1B instead of 2.
Also, when I played the first time I played Pokemon, I didn't understand a word of it because it was in English, and I had my brother translate it for me, and then I would skip it too fast, and then I'm not translating for you anymore. So like the rest of the game, I got lost like 15 times in
I was going to say I'd love to have seen you play it
so many times because like I would talk with people and mean nothing to me. Because like there wasn't Portuguese. There were Portuguese cards, but not the game, not the language anyway.
So it's like if you go and try and play like a Japanese game, you have no idea what the fuck is going on, and then you're like.
I mean, if it's an older Pokemon game, I'd probably just like memory do it. But like if it was the new one, I'll probably be lost a little bit. That's
the question. If you're going to buy a game and there is one in Portuguese and one in English, what do you choose?
Now.
Yeah.
English. I could like if there's I have The Last of Us and it has a sticker on it that says in Portuguese, but it still has English on it. So that even if I understood it, I could just switch it and be fine. Back to Portuguese.
And does it tend
if I bought the English one, and if I didn't understand it, probably didn't have a Portuguese option.
And does it tend to have like
I I don't even know how the Portuguese one works.
I was going to say, how does it work? Does it just have like shit subtitles at the bottom?
Yeah, because I thought they did like voiceover for it.
Because I know in Warcraft, like they put dubs, they dub it over all the time.
I hate dubs.
But they actually get voice actors who are as close as they can to the original. Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is quite good. And then you play any other game, and it's just like you have to have someone with like the deepest throat voice who does this amazing voice, and next they come in and go, really high pitched female voice who does over like a male character. It's like, okay, this is great. Dubs, alright. Yeah, subs are better. I don't care.
Subs are better. Although on games, I guess I don't mind that much because I did play Fire Emblem in English.
And who the fuck reads on games, man? You just skip ahead of it, have no clue what you're doing, and then just hope that you win.
And then when you're lost, you're just going to Google.
Hey, I like it. You're tied in back to the middle of. So are we saying that to end this, Pokemon relies on Google?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Also, Sword and Shield looks bad. So that is the end of our podcast about Pokemon. It was right. So it had ups and downs.
I'd say 45 minutes of it is probably completely off topic.
Yes, I'll probably say so, yeah.
I don't know,
what do you think, Tim? Oh, he's not here.
And the other, like, half an hour-ish plus a bit.
It's me reading a shit ton of Pokemon
notes.
Games.
And then about 15 minutes where we just go for a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
We're so good at this.
We are the worst podcasters, and it's so good because Tim's not here.
We're great.
No, it's because Tim's not here.
I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
Oh, I like it. I like Swansea. Hello, I'm going to leave. Goodbye. Portugal, what's that?
Something
Swansea.
In Welsh. Something in Welsh.
Aberystwyth. Ha, Swansea.
Tim's not going to listen.
Tim's not going to listen to this.
Let's be honest. So, next week we're doing, because Tim's not here again,
we're going to do our favourite podcast. We're going to talk about the podcast as a genre.
That we listen to and like.
Yeah.
And podcast is radio, let's be honest.
It's not. Well,
let's dive into that on our next podcast, next week.
Podcasts, some of the podcasts that I listen to are all just audiobooks.
Okay, then it's an audiobook, not a podcast.
But it's a podcast.
No.
It is.
Let's discuss
it says
that
podcast
next week.
on it. So
let's discuss that next week.
Let's discuss it next week, which we're actually recording in 2 days, but next week.
They didn't need to know that.
I'm breaking
We're still in 2007, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely.
Wrath of Lich King's out next year, so I'm excited for that. My Windows XP machine still going great.
Yeah.
My PlayStation 3 is very expensive still.
Mm-hmm.
An Xbox is still getting Red Rings of Death.
Nice.
And Doctor Who is still good before they replace it with a stupid actress.
I don't remember anything from like 2008. And they're doing one thing.
They replaced Doctor Who with a stupid actress with a shit writer.
Ugh. Doctor Who.
Horrible. And yeah, horrible now. Yes, I agree with you, Rita.
Yeah, totally.
You made a good Doctor Who fact.
Yeah. So, see you next week, guys. Podcast about podcasts.
Can we do a podcast about Doctor Who so I force you to watch it? Yes!
No, we're gonna.
Coming soon.
We can do one about Doctor Who. I'm not going to watch any of it. Just saying. Anyway, till next week. Goodbye.
Timmy, do you want to say anything? Not Tim, as in human Tim, but pretty cat called Tim.
Meow.
Meow? No. Goodbye.
Goodbye.